Confidentiality is a critical ethical issue in finance and accounting. When you make the internal trade, you must have a good idea about the market. If anything goes wrong, it may lead to legal penalties to the companies considered. Ethical financial management involves considering the social and environmental consequences in investment decisions. Hello, my dear students. I am Dr. B.S. Subramania, called by name Dr. B.S.S., Professor in Commerce and Management, Vidhyaashram First Aid College, a Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. I am going to hand Advanced Corporate Financial Management, 5th semester, Unit 5, Session 1 in favor of BBA. So, goes in favor of ethical and governance issues. Is only theory question which they are going to ask. But be careful, I am going to explain very detailedly what is ethical and what are the governments, what are the conditions, what are the elements are there in the ethics. So we'll move on now. So what's the agenda of this one? Ethical issue in financial management. What is the ethical issue in financial management? Conflicts of interest, confidentiality, transparency, financial fraud and misrepresentation, insider trading, executive compensation, tax avoidance versus tax evasion, risk management and disclosure, predatory lending, environmental and social responsibility, ethics in credit scoring and reporting, pay, equity and wage discrimination. So this point has to be bear in mind. At least 1 or 2 lines you have to write, but you must understand. I will go through this point now. Ethical issues in financial management. Ethics is a branch of social science. It deals with moral principle and social values. It helps to clarify with what is good and what is bad. So ethically say which is good and which is bad. Ethics have an arrangement of recent principle and branches of attitude while define what is good for individualism. So it is going to explain, the ethics is going to explain what is good in the society. Then the branch of social, it deals with moral principle and social values. This is important. So it clarifies what is good and what is bad. So the man has to think in the financial management, which items to be put in the finance so to get by. When I invest about 100 rupees, how much money I have to get back? Is a good or bad in investment on that particular what's called venture is considered. So all these things are considering the ethical issues. Conflicts of interest. Underlining the role of ethics in financial management is a fiduciary duty. Managers must act in the interest of their clients. This is important. Management acts in the interest of their clients and employers, not their own. If there is a conflict of interest where you can enrich yourself while harming a client, you must side with the client. You must always with the client. Bernie Madam, for example, served as both a broker for his client and a custodian. He must act as a broker and for a client and also for their custodian, for their whatever money they have deposited, whatever money they have invested. You must act as a broker as well as a custodian of their money. This is most important. So you must see that the well wishes of the client in such a way that you must act as a broker as well as the custodian of their money. With both roles of combined, there was no independent auditing of his operation, which made easier to defraud his client of millions. That is why establishing internal control is essential. When the risk of exposure is high, it is less tempting to steal. So here, who has to take part? There must be conflicts. So as a owner, you must see that you must act as a broker as well as the custodian of their money, so that the customer, the client can believe you. So this all belief goes on only when you act as a broker, and also custodian of money. Then confidentiality. Confidentiality is a critical ethical issue in finance and accounting. Accountants and finance professionals have access to sensitive financial information, and it is their responsibility to keep this information confidential. Any unauthorized disclosure of this information can have a serious consequences for the client and the accountant. Accountants and the finance professional must ensure that they maintain confidentially always. This is important. They maintain confidentially always and only disclose information with the client consent or when they required by law. So it's the duty of the what's called the, especially for management. So they have to keep the whatever the information they maintain confidentially always. He must maintain the what's called their account very confidentially and only disclose the information with the client consent. If the client wants the information, then only they have to inform and or when required by law. Transparency. Transparency is one of the main moral issue in finance. Investor must get accurate and consistent information from financial institution regarding the risk and reward of making investment. When investment is made, what is the risk is taken by the management? What is the reward they are going to get? So there is a risk. When you put the money in the what's called in the venture, there is a more risk, more reward, less risk, less reward. Risk and rewards are making investment. Failing to do so, many result in investment losses and harm the institution reputation. So when you invest the money, you are always expecting the profit. If there is a loss by chance because of so many other things, so it may get the what's called the name of the institution may come down because you invested in some mutual fund, you are invested somewhere by chance. If the returns are not up to the mark, generally, so it may affect the harm the institution reputation. Financial fraud and misrepresentation. Intentional misrepresentation of financial information, manipulation of financial statement, or fraudulent activity can deceive the investor, creditors, and other stakeholders. Such actions can lead to the legal consequences and reputational damage. So the name of the company may go more if there is a manipulation of financial statement. What is financial statement are there? You have to prepare trading account, profit and account, and a balance sheet. So if they made some changes in the balance sheet, manipulation of financial pain. Assume that the value of the building is about 10 lakh. So in order to make some manipulation, he may show 15 lakh. So it is worth only 10 lakh. So that there is some manipulation, it may lead the consequent reputation of the damage, lead to legal consequences and may lead to reputation of the damage. So the company suffers the damage because of the misrepresentation of the financial statement, or fraudulent activities can deceive the investor. So when the investor make what's called, they make them like this, no? So if you invest 100 rupees, you may get back 500 rupees. You invest 10,000, you may get back 25,000. All these the bogus ideas may be given, but it may what's called lead to the damage of the company reputation, legal consequence, and reputation of damage. Inside trading. Using non-public information to trade securities, can provide individual with unfair advantages in the stock market. Insider trading undermines the market integrity and fairness can lead to legal penalties. So only the what's called when you make the internal trade, you must have a good idea about the market. If anything goes wrong, it may lead to legal penalties to the companies considered. Then executive compensation. Ethical concern may arise when executive compensation is excessively high or not tied to organizational performance. Mis- Misaligned incentives can incentivize executives to prioritize short-term gains over a long-term substantial growth. So that executive compensation, this depends upon the organization performance. If the organization performance is good, definitely there is a more compensation we can have. So depends upon the how the organization perform in the what's called executive lines are considered. Tax avoidance versus tax evasion. Decision about tax practices can raise ethical concern while legitimate tax avoidance strategies are legal and within the bounds of the law. Tax evasion, deliberately misrepresenting or concealing information to reduce tax liability, is illegal and unethical. If you want to avoid the tax evasion, we say tax avoidance. In order to avoid the tax, you may see that wrong information in statement of profit and loss account. It may lead to tax liability. In order to reduce the tax liability, illegal and unethical, it may lead to the reputation. It may definitely affect the reputation of the firm by chance if they came to know that whatever the statement of profit and loss, whatever the trading account, whatever the position, what's called statement of position is given, that is nothing but a balance sheet. If they are given wrong information, it's a illegal. Tomorrow your name of the company has to be go down or reduce, or so the reputation of the firm will go. Risk management and disclosure. Ethical financial management involves transparently disclosing risk associated with investment or financial product to ensure that investors have accurate information for decision. So investor must have proper information in order to make the decision. So the proper information should be given by the company, by the management to the clients are considered. Predatory lending. Financial institutions engaging in predatory lending practices take advantage of vulnerable individuals by offering loans with high interest rate and fees. Such practice can lead to financial hardship and personal distress. So the company give me long-term loan, individual offering loan with high rate of interest, which may lead to the what's called reduce the reputation of the firm and also may lead to the party hardship and personal distress. Environmental and social responsibility. Organizational are increasingly held accountable for their impact on the environment and society. So it affects the environment as well as the society. Ethical financial management involves considering the social and environmental consequences in investment decision. This is important. Ethical financial management involves considering social and environmental consequences in investment decision. These 2 points to be considered. One is called considering social and environmental consequences are also there in order to get the investment decision. Ethics in credit scoring and reporting. Accurate credit scoring and reporting are essential for lending practices. If you want to lend them here now, you must have a credit scoring and reporting. Manipulation of credit scores or providing inaccurate information can lead to unjust treatment of the borrower. This is important. So here is the most important: manipulation of credit score. If you manipulate the credit score or providing the inaccurate information can lead to unjust treatment of borrower. Pay, equity and wage discrimination. Ethical consideration in financial management extend to issue of pay, equity and wage discrimination. There must be non-wage discrimination, ensuring fair compensation for all employees. This is important. Ensuring fair compensation for all employees, regardless of gender, ethnicity, or others. Avoiding these main challenges when it comes to ethics is the best way to ensure that the financial management process is ethical and trustworthy. Every employee should understand our management is looking after there is no illegal way or there is no wage discrimination according to work. We are getting the wages. If they came to know in this point, definitely the company will improve. Unless if they have got a doubt about the wage payment, it may lead so many complications. Pay equity and always according to your work. 10 hours work, 10 hour payment, 12 hours work, 12-hour payment. There must be no wage discrimination. Ethical consideration, important, in financial management, extend to issue of pay, equity and wage discrimination. So there must be not wage discrimination according to their work, according to their standard, according to their ability. You have to fix the wages. Ensuring fair compensation for all employees, regardless of gender, ethnicity, or other. Avoiding these main challenges when it comes to ethics is that best way to ensure that financial management process is ethical and trustworthy. What called the employee should believe it is our management is look after very well. There is no wage discrimination. Then only we can say that the reputation of the firm will move. Yeah, definitely there is a wage discrimination may come. So they what's called the management in a position see that there must be no wage discrimination according to their standard, according to their education, according to their work. The wage should be fixed. That is nothing but ethical issue. It may lead ethical and trustworthy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 points are there. In examination, first write this heading. If possible, try to what's called mug up this heading and write this heading in examination and write at least something. First go through these notes or whatever I've explained that. Then you have to write at least 4 or 5 links for each 13 points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 points are there. I have explained all the 13 points. So what you have to do now, you go through all these points, at least you write in your own English whatever the contents we have got. That's all. So the points are most important here. You mug up this point or say that write so many times, mug up this point, write the point, then explain. Definitely it will help you. So this is a major question they are going to ask for 15 marks. Hope you understand. About 13 points I have explained. Each point is good and you must see that at least you write the 13 point. You go on explaining one by one, at least 4 or 5 lines, definitely will fetch your marks. So hope you understand. I have completed all the portions about the 5th semesters are considered here. So in the revision classes, We will go with only practical problem. The practical problem which you are going to face, number one, is nothing but weighted average cost of capital, net operating income, and net income approach. Then risk adjustment we have got. Then we have got a dividend policy. In the dividend policy, you have to read Walter's model, Gordon model, and hypothesis. All the practical problems you already solved in the classroom. We dealt all the problems. Please go through the notes. Definitely, it will help you. Whatever the notes we have given, whatever the problem you have solved in the classroom, definitely help you. And we are also you have solved here. All the problems have been solved here. Please go through this one in videos, then definitely it will help you. Hope best of luck in the examination. We'll have a model paper. In the model paper, I'm going to answer for each chapter one question from the examination of point of view. Till then, goodbye. Meet in the next session with the help of model paper. So we can have the idea what the question they are going to ask, how to answer the particular in the examination part. Till then, goodbye. Meet in the next session.